Hey guys, in today's video we will learn how to use our local Ollama model as our coding copilot or coding assistant. It is beneficial to you if you don't want to pay for any subscription for GitHub Copilot or OpenAI API. This way it is free to you because it is local. The tool used in this video would be Ollama, VSCode, IntelliJ, and the extension called Continue for both VSCode and IntelliJ. I am Minaj, so let's get started. So the first step is to get to ollama.com and we're gonna download Ollama. You could skip this step if you already have Ollama. So if you are running Mac OS, you can get the Mac OS version of Ollama, but I'm running Windows, so we're gonna do the Windows installation. So let's go download for Windows, save it. Now that it is saved, let's go ahead and run it. Click install. Now that it is installed, we can go ahead in our search bar and search for Ollama and click on it, and it should start our Ollama instance. There we go, we have Ollama running. We could also verify by going to our browser, localhost 11434, that's where Ollama runs, and it should say Ollama is running. So now that we have Ollama up and running, now let's get us some coding model. So what we can do, we could go back to ollama.com, go ahead in the download model section and search for model, and I'm going to search for anything that is coder. So these are the coding tuned model that you could try and use. For now, I'm going to go ahead and use Qwen 2.5. This is the one that I found is pretty good. Qwen 2.5 coder. I'm going to go download the 7B. Remember that parameter value that you choose, you need to make sure that you have enough RAM available to run that model, and if you have graphics card, make sure that your graphics card has enough VRAM. In this instance, I'm assuming that you are running it with your local CPU and RAM, but if you have graphics cards, that's better. If you have Intel graphics card, it is a little bit trickier to run on Intel graphics card. I have made a video on that, how to make use of Ollama LLMs on Intel graphics card, which I will link in the description. So let's go ahead, get this coder. I'm not gonna do run, I'm just gonna do pull for now. Go ahead to our command prompt, type Ollama pull and the model that we want to pull. So it is fetching the model, so we will wait for it and get back to it once it is downloaded. Alright, so it's downloaded. We're gonna go ahead and download our IDE. We are going to download VS Code now, so we can just Google search VS Code. This is the first link that would pop up, and we are gonna download it for Windows. Hit save, it should start downloading. Alright, so our VS Code is installed. We can launch it from here itself, so let's click finish and it should open VS Code for us. We have now VS Code up and running, and to use our local LLM via Ollama, we need to install an extension called Continue. And to do so, we can go ahead to this extension tab, click on it, it's gonna pop up the search bar, and we are gonna search for Continue. This is the Continue extension with which we are gonna use our local Ollama models. So let's go ahead, click install. Once Continue is installed, we are gonna get a shortcut on our left menu bar. We can go ahead, click on it, and it says to log in. As we are trying to use our local LLM for this coding assistant, we're not gonna go log in, we can just click on remain local. So click on it. So this gives us a window telling that it has identified the Ollama is running locally on our machine. From here on this window, we can download the other model if you want. But if you remember, we have downloaded the Qwen 2.5 coder already, so we are not gonna download any model as of yet. But what we could do, we could use that model by clicking here. You see by default it is selecting Cloud 3.5 Sonnet, but we don't have API for that, so we are going to use our local model instead. So here this auto detect is the local Qwen 2.5 coder model that we have downloaded, so we're going to select this one. For now, close this. Now we have chat window enabled. We can ask for coding question. For example, let's try write, hit enter, and now it has started coding for us. This part is just to show you that we have connected to our local LLM and we can use it to write code, but we haven't created any project or any files yet. To do so, we can go ahead in the Explorer and we can just choose any folder that we want to do any coding sort of. So let's create a project just for the demonstration. We're going to create a folder called test and we're going to use this folder. There we have it. Yes, trust the author. I trust myself. There we go. We can create a new file and then ask our Copilot or our Continue app to do coding for us. So we're going to go ahead and create a new file. Let's create test.js as well. Now that we have it, we can use, if you see here, it has identified that we already have a coding assistant in place. So it's asking that we could use Control and I to open a prompt, and we could do a similar thing here like we did previously, right? And it has begun writing the code for us. There we have it. We have our tic-tac-toe game in JavaScript created by our local coding assistant. We can accept it or reject it. Once you accept it, these code will be persisted to your test.js file in this case. So I'm gonna go ahead and accept it. So we have our code accepted. There are some other shortcuts that you could use with Continue. For example, let's make this line bad, and we could go ahead, select this line, right click, select the Continue and hit on fix this code. But to do so, we are going to do some setting changes for the Continue extension. So we can go in this setting gear icon and it'll tell us what it is using for what purpose. So at this moment, the chat option is using our Qwen 2.5 coder. So what we're going to do for autocomplete, edit, apply, we are going to change it to our local Qwen 2.5 as well, and then we're going to see how it corrects this error line. So we're going to go ahead for autocomplete. For autocomplete, we have to change config file in the file itself. So we're going to go ahead and open config file. Once we are in the config, we are going to go to tab autocomplete model, and we are going to change some settings. So title, it can be anything, so I'm going to say local autocomplete, and the provider is Ollama, and the model would be the model that we have downloaded, which is Qwen 2.5 coder. So the setting is saved. We could see that the autocomplete is moved to our new name, local autocomplete, which means it's going to port it to Qwen 2.5 coder. So this part is done. Let's close this config.json. For edit, we are going to use our same Qwen 2.5 coder. For apply as well, Qwen 2.5 coder. That's it. Now we can go back to our code and ask our local LLM to fix this line of code. So we can select the line, right click on it, choose continue, and hit fix this code. So here it is. It has fixed this code, but it is asking us to accept or reject. We know that this is correct, so we're going to accept it, and then we have our fixed code. Another one is the autocomplete. Try to type something and wait for it a little bit and see whether if it is start the autocomplete. So let's type console dot. Let's see if the autocomplete pops up. There we go. We have the autocomplete enabled. In this continue chat, you could refer your file and ask question about it. So we're going to type at, and we're going to select files, and in the files we're going to select test.js. This is the only file for now for us, and we could say, what is this doing? So now it has referred to our test.js file, JavaScript file, and explaining that what it is doing and what each function means. So this is one of the function. You could refer to a file and ask question about it. Another thing that we could do is we could just select a piece of code and make it part of the context, which means that, say, if you want to ask question about this function, we could just select the function, right click on it, go to the continue, and make it add highlighted code to the context. Once we click on that, this becomes the whole code snippet becomes the part of the chat, and we could ask what this function is doing, for example, and it is going to explain what this function is doing. There we go. It is explaining the function to us. It is a nice way to get to know the functions, and also if you are working on a project that you got from, say, internet, and you're iterating over it and you want to understand the code. We could move this continuity chat app on the right side of our IDE so that it looks more like our regular GitHub Copilot sort of thing. So we're gonna just click and hold it and move it to the right side of it. Now we have our continue on the right side. We don't use Copilot, so let's minimize this, and now we have our chat on the right side. In my opinion, it looks better if you have your coding Copilot or code assistant on the right side, so you could go through your file explorer or project explorer. Similar thing can be done for the IntelliJ IDEA as well. We can go to Google, go to IntelliJ IDEA, download and install it. We have IntelliJ IDEA installed now. We can run it. You can skip this step if you already have IntelliJ IDEA installed, and you could just watch how to add the extension. Hit finish. It's gonna launch our IntelliJ IDEA. So there we have it. We have IntelliJ IDEA. We can say new project, test project, create. Once the initial setup is done, what we could do, we could go to the marketplace, settings, plugins, marketplace, and here we're gonna search continue. So we got the continue extension for IntelliJ IDEA as well. We're gonna install it. I'll come back when it is installed, up and running. There we go, we have it installed. Hit OK, and here we have it on the right side. We see the continue icon. The rest of this stuff is gonna be same as what we saw in VS Code. So let's click on it. There we go. It is connected to default sonnet, but we're gonna use our local one, so we can say remain local, similar to what we see on VS Code. Close this one, select our model, close it, and then we could do the same stuff. What is a hash map? There we have it, our continue code assistant working with IntelliJ. The rest of this stuff should be same as what we saw in our VS Code. So that's it for this video. Go ahead, download different model, experiment with it, and see which model suits you the best based on your use case, and have fun with it. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.